A House of Representative member of the Gwea East, Gwea West constituency in Benue State, Mark Bilia, has alleged that the Senate is responsible for inserting 20 controversial clauses into the Electoral Amendment Bill, including the clause that outlaws electronic transmission of results. Speaking on Arise News yesterday, Bila said chairman of the House Committee is responsible for the electoral bill told House members that she was not aware of any change in the initial harmonized version from both chambers. In addition to the removal of electronic transmission of results from the bill, the National Assembly also raised campaign spending limits of a presidential candidate from 1 billion naira to 15 billion naira, and that for governorship, senatorial, House of Representatives, and House of Assembly candidates by 1,500%. This clause has been slammed by the stakeholders and civil society who accuse the National Assembly of attempting to allow the highest bidder to hijack the elections. But Gilbert insisted that House members discovered that the clauses generating controversy were inserted when the bill got to the upper chambers. On the issue of the Electoral Act, I want to appeal to the Senate because we have come to discover it is where the insertion came from. At a recent meeting, the chairman of the House Committee told our colleagues that she is not aware of any change to the initial harmonized version from both chambers. But obviously, there is an insertion, and I can confirm that about 20 clauses, and it is alleged that it was inserted at the state's version. We are at a point in our country where we should not be playing with politics with this issue. I wonder why people think they are going to stay in power perpetually. The world is moving forward and we're still deliberating on electronic transmission of results, something that is a foregone issue in other nations. We in PDP are insisting that the provision of electronic transmission is sacrosanct, and we suspect that those sections were intentionally inserted so that the ability to manipulate and rig the forthcoming election will be possible. It is unfortunate and we are going to resist it. On the outrage generated after the National Assembly passed the Petroleum Industry Bill, which makes provision for 30% of profits of oil proceeds to be used for oil exploration in frontier states and for equity of host communities to be reduced from 5 to 3%. Bila said the controversial provisions were ridiculous and unacceptable. I don't believe there is a conspiracy by the northern lawmakers against the South, but very clearly there is concern by northern legislators about the issue of resource allocation. It is important at the National Assembly we recognize that unnecessary bickering will not do this country any good because in the very near future these oil reserves would be of no use to us to a large extent because of the renewable energy alternative that is gathering steam all over the world. As a former deputy chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, I'm privy to the number of oil wells across the country that the federal government is still holding onto and keeps dispensing at will with patronage that is of no use to this country. I would like to advise my northern brothers that if we do not get our acts together and do the right thing, they should know that we are allocating 30% to oil exploration. It is not to the benefit of the country because we are exploring what will soon be obsolete. We should just make a reasonable provision towards that part of the industry and focus on exploiting what we already have to the maximum within the shortest possible time. As someone who is interested in justice, equity, and fairness, I've been to the South, and I've seen the level of livelihood that has been destroyed by oil production. The provision of 30% for oil exploration is unacceptable to some of us with regards to resource allocation, and the 3% is ridiculous, Bila said. This senator representing the Gwea East and Gwea West constituency in Benue State, Mark, he has stated that the Senate, they know what they are doing, that they've inserted 20 clauses into the electoral bill all in a bid to rig the forthcoming general elections, to rig forthcoming elections. We know the closest election is the November 6th Anambra governorship election. And the Senate, they came up with something really, really ridiculous, stating that they are going to remove transmission of electronic results. There's nothing, it's not going to be there anymore. What is their fear? Why are they taking it out? Why are they removing the electronic transmission of results? And you know what that electronic transmission of result does? So immediately the votes are counted in a center, in a polling unit. Immediately the results are transmitted online. Everyone has seen it. So there will be no time to read. There will be no time to add numbers or add zeros, inflate figures, and all of those things they do. There will be no time for that. Why are they scared of electronic transmission? Why are they scared of the electronic transmission? So PDP, they are kicking against it. They are saying, no, this will not happen. And right now, they've just inserted those things and they thought that no one will notice. These rep members stated that it's very clear this wasn't the original one. Something was done to it. This wasn't the original electoral bill. Something has been inserted into it, and not just one, not just two, about 20. What is APC even up to? And we know the handwork, who is behind all of this is the All Progressive Congress, who happens to be the ruling party. We know times with that number, they've always stated that they're going to remain in power for the next 30 years. They are really jokers. Who is going to allow that? So they are doing everything, working tooth and nail to ensure that they remain in power. And for this one that they've just stated, PDP rep members, PDP senators are stating that it will not happen. Also regarding the petroleum industry bill, the percentage that they talked about, the 30% profits, and also the 3% that they said they were going to give as an allocation to their to the host communities, that it is unacceptable. The provision of 30% for oil exploration is unacceptable to us, for some, with regards to resource allocation, and the 3% is ridiculous. They are stating what is going on. And you know, one of the reasons that Niger Delta has been kicking off is that we are the oil producing community. We are very underdeveloped compared to other communities. I don't know how this one it's good that they are kicking against it now. We just hope that they don't grease hands and they just accept. But right now they are saying no to it. It's a no, no, no. Well, guys, let's hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. Till I come your way again with more updates. Bye.